Hey everyone, welcome back to another edition of the Bolt City Podcast. Dave Palais, Josh Palais, and Mario Heron talking more Charger football with you guys. And of course, for me, talking with these two, it's always a lot of fun. For us, as we do the show, we just finished Mother's Day. Really excited about, of course, what's going on in the sports schedule. Baseball's in full swing, NBA playoffs, which all of us are NBA fans. But the thing we're most excited about is what are the Chargers going to do in the 2023 season? Guys, we've had a chance to hold on to the schedule now for about 5 days and kind of break it down a little bit more. Is there anything that stands out to you two guys that maybe we didn't talk about in the last show to go, you know what, that's something I didn't think about as far as looking forward to what's on the schedule in the Chargers?
Mario, you can go first.
I think it keeps ringing in my head the early bye week. Like week 5 is the earliest bye week possible. You can't tell me that doesn't not something a little bit worrisome for you at all. The ending with Broncos and Chiefs, as that could be the very big determination if we're going to go to the playoffs or not. Also, just has kind of like it's going to keep you up at night a little bit. I love that we get the NFC North. The more I think about the NFC North on 5-star weekend that I do for BetQL Network, we did an NFC North breakdown, and I just got reminded of just how crappy of a division that is. Like I think I would trust I'd trust Georgia Bulldogs to walk in there and pull a pretty strong record against those teams. Like that is a very, very weak division. So very happy that we sit with that division for this year.
I think the thing that I noticed was no matter how you cut your schedule for any team in the NFL, you're going to get about at least five great quarterbacks. There's so many really good quarterbacks or great quarterbacks in the NFL. There's not many games where you play somebody that doesn't have a good quarterback. Even with Tua, I think the Chargers' very first game of the season, you really don't know if Tua is going to be a top 10 quarterback or a bottom 10 quarterback because he's so all over the place. What's something you notice, Dave? What do you notice when you look at the schedule?
Okay. It's funny. First game, obviously, as they say in the NFL, it's one game at a time. So that's the first game on September 10th against the Miami Dolphins. The one thing about Tua, you expect that he will be healthy. Normally, if let's say this game was in December, we'd be having an argument right now. There's no guarantee Tua's going to play. You don't know if Tua would survive. You know, he missed so many games for injury. So you're expecting him, obviously, to be healthy in week 1. I did start looking around. I usually don't look at betting lines because in California, you know, gambling's illegal. So I always ask Mario, what do you see? And we talked about we talked. Are you booing California? You're booing me right now. Like I don't control it. I was all for legalized gambling. It didn't go my way. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I mean, I'll boo you at a later time when you say something stupid about Justin Fields or something. But I was just booing the fact that we're not legalizing sports gambling. I mean, we can smoke a little pot, but you can't throw a gamble on the Chargers.
That's true. So here's the so the Chargers obviously are favored in this game, and we talked about it for a number of reasons. Then I started looking, Josh, at the rest of the schedule and going, look, if you were to reverse the Charger home schedule, and let's say it was the road schedule, I think all of us would be very upset and say the Chargers got completely screwed on this schedule. The fact that the Chargers aren't in Miami, you know, for that game, that they lucked out. Again, it's going to be, of course, warm in Southern California, but nothing like the heat that's going to be in Miami on September 10th. And with the humidity, I just think it's a huge shock to the system when you're going through 6 weeks of summer workouts and you look at what the Dolphins and the Chargers are going at it in that heat. So then you sit there and you say, okay, well, the next game, of course, Raiders, you face the Raiders twice. We luck out that the Chargers aren't in Dallas. You luck out the Chargers aren't in Chicago. The Chargers in Detroit, who cares? But the Chargers at the Ravens, I think would be one you'd go, man, that'd be a tough game, right? If that game was reversed and you say, instead of the Ravens coming to SoFi, that the Chargers have to go to Baltimore on November 26th, you'd be, you know, shaking a little bit. And the big one, of course, would be the Bills. To say the Bills are coming to SoFi Stadium on December 23rd is such a big advantage for the Chargers compared to if that was reversed. Let's say the Chargers on December 23rd had to go to Buffalo. Number one, that's a long travel trip. 2 is you're going to deal with the snow. 100% it is snowing on December 23rd in Buffalo, and the Chargers would have to deal with that. Now you don't have to worry about the elements. Yes, the Bills are an extremely talented team, but if the schedule was reversed, I think we'd be very upset saying that the Chargers might not be a playoff team. And the fact that the schedule is the way it is and the way it's drawn out, I think it benefits the Chargers dramatically where their home schedule is and what their road schedule is.
I couldn't agree more. And I think, Mario, was that a Amber Alert or a dial-up modem? What went off over there?
Okay, that very good question, and that's like very big my bad, and that's even worse when it comes from the producer side.
Sorry, I didn't mean to talk while you're interrupting.
That's the best line ever.
It was spaz. I didn't know someone might be trying to hack my freaking work laptop. Started spazzing. I was tweaking, making a bunch of random noises, still making noises. I put it in my bathroom, like locked the door, like it's my nephew complaining about something. So it's in there, still going off, but you can't hear it. So yeah, okay. I don't know. But thanks for being a smart ass, Dave.
So if there was ever a season for Charger football to get season tickets, it's this year, right? You have a bunch of guys that are later on in their careers. You know, they're probably going to perform. They might not be on the team in a couple of years. You get 4 primetime games, and you got some great quarterbacks coming to SoFi. You said it right there. You get Lamar Jackson, you get Josh Allen, you get Patrick Mahomes, you get freaking Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott's not a great quarterback. You get Jared Goff, who I think is a top 10 quarterback. You get Tua. You get some really good players coming in to SoFi. If you're a Charger fan, you live in the area, why would you not want to get season tickets for these matchups?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, go ahead, Dave.
I mean, no. I'm sorry. I'm with you 100%. So all of us would say the same thing. Well, all 3 of us love the NFL. Obviously, love the Chargers. So you go, this is a great opportunity. Look, we don't work for the Chargers. Matter of fact, I don't even think the Chargers like the show. Pretty sure they don't. But we aren't selling season tickets. I'm just saying, if you're a Charger fan and you're excited about the upcoming season, and you go, man, I want to see these guys in person. This is a great year. This is a great home schedule for Charger fans in Southern California or wherever you come from to watch these games. So let me ask you this question, because the one thing about the Chargers is always, you know, the concern, and this is even when they were in San Diego, man. And it's funny how short people's memories are in San Diego when you say, hey, you know, the Bronco fans filled that place up, Raider fans filled that place up, Steeler fans especially filled that place up, and that's just the way it went. Charger fans who are still disgruntled that they left San Diego will say, what do you mean we packed that place? No, you didn't. It was always filled that side of orange or red or black or black and yellow, whatever. It was always that way. And the reason is, Mario, I know you aren't a Southern California guy, but so many people move here from other places. There's so many people from Chicago that live in Southern California, you know, whether it's New York or Cleveland. There's so many people that move here because they want better weather. And so you're always going to get a mixture of fans. So when I go through these home games, I want to ask you guys say more or less Charger fans, okay? Miami Dolphins,
Great.
Game 1. What is the percentage Charger fans?
65% Charger fans.
I was going to say 70-30 Chargers.
You know, I think it's closer, honestly, guys, to 60. For some reason, there are a ton of Dolphin fans that either travel with the team or just happen to be out here. I can't figure out why, but there are a ton of Dolphin fans.
I know why. It's because of Dan Marino. A lot of the people that can buy tickets were kids when Dan Marino was a stud. So I think that's why there's a lot of Dolphin fans. No, he never won it.
Yeah,
but if it's kids, me and Josh's age, they don't give 2 craps about the Dolphins. No shot.
No, at all. Because you guys never saw them win. But my age, the Miami Dolphins were a decent team, even though the Dolphins haven't won anything since I was a year old. You know that?
Yeah,
they haven't won anything. You know,
Jesus just graduated high school.
Yeah, he did. He did.
World War II just ended.
You son of a gun. Are you taking another shot? Did I tell you my social security number is 8? I almost cussed at you, dude. I almost followed up. I almost followed it up with a cuss word right at you right now. Damn, I'm the oldest guy on the show and the most immature guy on the show. All right, so Raiders at the Chargers. What's the percentage?
Dude, you already know what the answer is. You already know.
I mean, it's in favor of the Raiders. There are more Raider fans there than Charger fans. And the reason that is, Mario,
Raiders. If I had to guess.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, the reason that is the most popular team in Southern California, Mario, is the Raiders. And that's the big reason why. So when the whole deal happened, when the move happened with the Chargers going up there, the NFL really probably would have preferred the Raiders and the Rams. The Rams owner did not want the Raiders there. He knew, Stan Kroenke knew he had no chance to compete with the Raider fans. And so it was open to the Chargers. If the Chargers turned it down, then the Raiders would have had an opportunity to take that spot. But Dean Spano said all along, we can't have 3 Southern California teams. It's not going to work. We rely too much on Orange County to come down from Anaheim. We're trying to explain how it works for Mario, but how too many fans in Orange County that come down to San Diego that support the team, we'd lose a big portion of our fan base. So basically, the Raiders are still the number one team in Los Angeles. Cowboys Chargers come to town on October 16th.
It will at least be 80% Cowboy fans, at least.
I'm gonna go 50-50 because I think Cowboys are kind of like the bad guy, the guy in it's kind of like Han Solo in Star Wars, where you can buy him over pretty quick to your side. I think that's a Cowboys fan, where they kind of like Cowboys, but listen, you win a couple games and you have a pretty jersey, they're gonna put that on and throw the Cowboys jersey away. So I think at that time, I predicted that Chargers would be 4-0. Half those guys coming to those games are supposedly Cowboy fans or Charger fans by that game. I'd go 50-50 in that crowd.
So what's interesting is it could be 50-50. I still would be surprised if it's more Cowboy fans. Remember, the Cowboys practice in Southern California, basically in Thousand Oaks, right? So there's always a tremendous amount of Cowboy fans nationwide. But here's the interesting thing. As well as the Cowboys always have their fans in whatever city they go to, if you go to a game in Dallas, from everyone I know that's ever gone to a Cowboys game there, they say there's tons of visiting fans that fill up their stadium. Kind of weird. To me, it's weird.
That is weird. That is weird.
All right, here's the one I'm most curious about what Mario's answer is. It's the Bears on October 29th. Now, Mario, how many Bears fans do you think are there? Like, what's the percentage?
I would say pretty high. I've seen Bears fans at a couple away games, and they travel pretty well, and they travel hard. The good thing you might get about Bears fans is they do pregame the game a little too hard, so they might be out by halftime. So that's where it could bounce your way a little bit.
So is the team, though. It doesn't matter. Both the fans and the team are out by half.
That's very true. Very true. History does tell you that.
I think you're right. I think the Bears fans show up in droves. I do. The Bears don't come here very often. It's not like the Raiders or the Chiefs or the Broncos. The Bears barely ever come here. And there's so many Chicago fans in Southern California, man. The Bears fans are going to show up for that game. Anyway, that's again, that's an NBC Sunday night game. I think it'll be surprising to see how much orange. Lions, Chargers. What do you think?
I think the Chargers have more than Lions fans, right? I'd say 70-30 Chargers fans.
I think it's a good number.
Yeah,
I think that's a good number.
I would even go 90-10. I think they get dominated.
All right, this is just my my feeling as a sports fan. But whenever I see anyone who is a Lions fan, because it's so rare, honestly, I think this guy's a horrible IQ. Like, this might be one of the dumbest guys I've ever seen on the planet, and I don't even know you. I'm not kidding. If you're going to sit there and invest your life into being a Lions fan, I don't care if you were born and raised in Detroit 5 generations, you're an idiot. I mean, think about it. Why would you put all your time and energy, not even just the 3 hours it takes on Sunday or Monday to watch your team play? Holy cow, man. I mean, it's the Lions. What a disappointment the Lions have been for 80 years. Why? I immediately think idiot. Am I wrong? I mean, what do you guys think if you see somebody with the Lions shirt on? What do you think? First of all, you don't see one very often. They're two best players in our lifetime, both retired early because they just couldn't take it anymore. They just said, screw it. Barry Sanders, I'm out. Calvin Johnson, I'm out. I just can't do it anymore. It's a factory of misery over there.
Hell of a hard knock series. I have a whole tribe of family in Detroit that take pride.
Are they Lions
Lebanese
fans?
What? They are.
Fans?
Most
really?
of them. The ones with the last name Heron are more, honestly, I think all of them are Bears fans except for one. But the one that all Lebanese, where if you bump into one of them and they turn around, their cousin's probably right next to them, or a brother or sister or somewhere in the bar. They're Detroit till they die, and they're good avid listeners. So if you get a couple DMs, Dave, they're a little sketchy.
Uh-oh. Yeah. Got it. All right. I'm just saying, I don't understand it. A lot of times I just don't understand the team you're stuck with. Ravens, Chargers, November 26th, home game.
I go same thing. I go 70-30 Charger fans. I think Baltimore has a good amount of fans from their dynasty. They had kind of a dynasty thing, not really, in the 2000s. And they're a newer team. Baltimore's a smaller city, so I don't think they travel a crazy amount. But they have some fans. I go 70-30 Chargers.
I would 80-20 would be mine. I think I don't think Ravens fans travel that well. Nor like if I don't really know anyone from Baltimore. I've been there, and like it's like I don't know. It's not a fan base. I'm like, whoa. You know?
I will say this: there are, whether they're from Baltimore or not, there are a lot of Lamar Jackson fans. I remember Josh and I a few years ago went to a Monday Night Football game at the Coliseum. It was the Rams and the Ravens, and it was packed with Ravens fans, right? Except one jerk wearing a Tom Brady jersey for some reason to talk trash to the Raven fans. I have no idea why he said I'm going to pick a fight with 70,000 people that night, but he did. Didn't do well, but he tried. He tried in front of us, but there were a lot of Raven fans, right, Josh? There were a ton of them.
Yeah, that's a good point. There was a lot of Ravens fans, and that was the worst football game I've ever been to in my life. I think the Ravens scored every single possession the entire game. It was horrible. It was bad.
It was. Yeah. So it was like watching the Chargers second half against Jacksonville. It was ridiculous what was going on. All right, this is where it gets crazy. Where, guys, I think right now SoFi Stadium, the last 3 games just gets overrun by the visiting team. Okay, Broncos, Bills, Chiefs. Do you agree with me that the SoFi Stadium turns into home games for the visitors?
Broncos, Bills, Chiefs. Which one do you think is the worst?
Broncos. Those Bronco fans, even though they could have a losing record, the Bronco fans just show up in droves.
If Broncos are winning, it's worse. If they're not winning, I think it's not going to be that bad. But if Broncos winning, it's going to come in droves. Bills are just going to overtake, and then Chiefs is the Chiefs. But again, I don't think I'm going to stick my foot in the ground hard on this Week 18 game. Is not going to be what people think it's going to be. Like I think the Chiefs will barely play any stars. Maybe Mahomes will play a quarter in this game. I think they'll have everything lined up.
It by then.
Yeah,
wow, 100%. That's a little disappointing. You know, so here's the deal. This is not a shot at Charger fans. What you've noticed, though, since the Chargers have moved to Los Angeles, when they first started playing in LA in 2017, that, man, there was hardly anyone there that was a Charger fan in that soccer stadium. I mean, when the Steelers came to town, it looked like there were 2 Charger fans in the whole building. Eagles came to town, all that stuff. You just like there was no one there to support the organization. You're seeing more and more Charger fans. Every year you're seeing more and more. They're filling up SoFi Stadium. We mentioned it before on the show that young people love the Chargers and the direction this team is going. And you hope one day that you say we will honestly have a big time home field advantage, like the Steelers, like the Eagles, whatever else. But remember, those people that are stuck in that bad weather in those cities, there aren't people that are transplants to Philadelphia for the most part. You know, there's a reason why you don't live in Philadelphia or live in Detroit. So overall, with the Chargers, man, they're doing the best they can. Entertaining product. I think one of the more entertaining teams in the league. Josh, you pointed out on the last show how many primetime games this team has getting this year. And it shows you because the NFL thinks this is an entertaining team with a star quarterback.
Yeah, it is. And they're certainly setting themselves up for like a lot of duels in this situation in these primetime games. Like we have a Dak versus Herbert duel, which can be interesting. We have the Justin game. We didn't even mention that. It's the Justin game, Justin Fields versus Justin Herbert game. That will be huge in that one. And then we have Aaron Rodgers that back-to-back weeks in 8 and 9. Obviously, the Lamar one, and then you go Raiders, which is a divisional game, and Josh Allen versus Herbert. So it is every game is a quarterback duel. I think it's going to be an interesting game and an interesting matchup. It's definitely going to be something that we're going to look forward to, and definitely it's going to be one of those games where ESPN's going to be on it, Fox is going to be on it, and next morning on First Take or Undisputed, there's going to be some crazy hot takes that are going to become swooping in. And, I kind of hope those takes come back Chargers' way, because if not, you're going to get the Justin Herbert's social media QB crap all over again, which is extremely, extremely annoying. But of all these primetime games, Josh, which of these kind of do you look forward to the most and kind of will have like the most storylines, do you think, going into that game?
Ooh, that's a great question. The one that has the most hype going into it to me is going to be that Week 12 Ravens game. Seems like going into the playoffs, the Chargers are always compared to the Ravens with a record. They always are very similar. I feel like the Chargers are the second best team in their division. I feel like the Ravens are the second best team in their division. So it's going to be a hype game. I think all the primetime games obviously bring hype with them. Hopefully that Raiders game, Week 15, is not a hype game. It's going to be a kind of a hype game because it's division-wise, but hopefully the Chargers are just so much better than the Raiders at the end of the season that it's not the usual Raider-Charger hype game.
I tell you, the game for me, guys, and I don't think either one of you would pick it if I said you have 5 choices of the game for me that I'm looking forward to. It is November 6th. It's the one on Monday Night Football. It's the Chargers going to play the New York Jets. And I think it's going to be a highly rated game. You're going to have the number 1 and number 2 media markets. And we know that most football fans can name the quarterback on all 32 teams. Doesn't matter how bad the quarterback is. You're basically recognized by your quarterback. People in New York, I understand, know who Justin Herbert is. But the fact Aaron Rodgers is in the end of his career and he's in a big media market and he's on a huge stage on Monday Night Football, but it's Justin Herbert too on a big stage in a stadium where the weather is a little different. Not saying it's going to snow or rain, but the wind's always a factor in MetLife Stadium, and it's just a little bit different. And even though it's the same 100-yard field and the rules are the same, it's like, hey, watch what I can do. Look who I am and watch what I can do. And the fact that Justin Herbert's going against Aaron Rodgers, to me, is exciting. And that, again, is a Monday Night Football game. And I'm excited to watch it. And maybe I'm hyping it up too big. But if you told me I can only watch a few games a year, this would be one of the games I would say I'm definitely tuning into. I hope it's a game that not only puts Justin Herbert on the map, but also a game where you could justify why Justin Herbert's getting paid $55 million a year, whatever his contract is down the line.
This comment might piss some Charger fans off, but just Charge fans, stay with me. Don't get mad at me. If you want, go ahead, DM me, send me something funny. If you're going to be threatening, be funny is what I like to say. It's kind of like the battle of the little brothers in the big city in a way.
Yeah.
Like you have the Jets who the little brother to the Giants. The Giants have had recent success, obviously this past year, but the 2 Super Bowls under Eli Manning. And then you have Chargers with the Rams. You know, the Rams obviously are in this dumpster fire of a situation, right? Where they sold out, they went all in, they got all their picks away, and they won a Super Bowl, but now they're in this terrible mode. But the fact is they won a Super Bowl, so they're the favorite in the town. They have the best player in the NFL, and Aaron Donald might be the best player we've ever seen. They have arguably the best receiver in the NFL, Cooper Kupp. They just had all this stuff, and it's like the battle of the little brothers who will become big brother, who will hit puberty. You know, that's just kind of what it is. It's like week 9, New York Jets, Los Angeles Chargers. Who's going to hit puberty? Who's going to take the next step? And I think that's a very fun, kind of interesting storyline in that. And like you said, it's in the 2 biggest media markets in the world. And from that game, that's going to be week 9. We're going to start get playoff pictures kind of in that situation. That's really going to elevate whichever team wins that matchup. And it's going to be a lot of eyes on the Chargers. That's back-to-back weeks of 2 big media markets, Chicago and New York. That's a lot of eyes on you. That's a lot of fans to get. And that's a lot of growing the band for Los Angeles Chargers. So looking forward to that one as always. If there is a 3-game stretch for the Chargers, Josh, that you're like, dude, this 3-game stretch is going to be like pretty brutal where we do Bolt City and it's just 3 weeks in a row of like, crap, like this is just hard and a grind after and after again. Which one is that for you?
Oh my God. It's tough. It's tough. The 3-week stretch is a tough call. I don't know, Mario, does one stand out to you? Like, the greatest thing about the NFL, you can't sit there and go, this is an automatic 3 wins. You know what I mean? The NFL doesn't seem to work, unless you're the Kansas City Chiefs. It doesn't work that way for almost every team in the league. We go, these are 3 wins in a row or 3 tough losses in a row for most teams, right? But if you're the Chiefs, you're living high on the hog and going, hey, this is cakewalk. For the Chargers, you never feel that way.
No, you don't. And it's like nothing's ever guaranteed. You know what I wish the Chargers had? Like, I wish the Chargers had what like the Colts had for the longest time with Manning, right? You had a guaranteed 2 wins against the Texans. You know, you have that guaranteed, and the Chargers just don't really have that. And for that reason, I think the hardest 3-game stretch for the Chargers upcoming this year, week 15 through week 17, because that's at Vegas versus the Bills at home and at Broncos in week 17. I've said this over and over again, but they need to sweep at least the Raiders or Broncos. We both like both. But again, we saw for the past 2 years, these second matchups just get these Chargers in trouble. Second matchup against the Raiders, they were outscored 17-7 in the second half. Raiders won. It was kind of like you thought it was going to be a turning point for the Raiders in this season. Turns out it wasn't because they suck and the organization sucks and McDaniel sucks and that fan base kind of sucks. And then second matchup 2021, that was the biggest kick to the john of all time for Charger fans, and goes into OT. We lose that game. They go to the playoffs. We don't. Again, shout out to Raiders organization for being dum-dums and not hiring their interim head coach as head coach, or we could be in a tougher spot. And then Broncos, same thing this past year. We split with them when we didn't have to win the second one, but still, I think Broncos will take a step, be a lot better with Sean Payton. And then we've already mentioned Bills. Bills is a tough opponent where your stadium's probably going to be split 50-50, and that's going to be a must win for playoffs in week 16. I'm guessing that's going to be must win for both teams. So you're going to get Josh Allen's best game against Herbert's best game. Let's see who the better QB is.
Interesting. That's that. So I'm close to you, by the way, on my 3-game stretch, but I'm going to move it up or move it back 1 week. I don't believe the last week of the season that the division is going to be clinched. I think honestly it's going to take the entire season. So I'm looking at the Bills at the Chargers. I'm looking at the Chargers at the Broncos on the road, and I'm looking at Chiefs at Chargers. Okay. So when you look at those 3 games again, you have Josh Allen, you have Russell Wilson, of course, at home. Anytime the Chargers go on the road at the Denver Broncos, it's always going to be a little bit tough. And then, of course, Patrick Mahomes at home. To have that be, let's say, a must-win game for the division, which I could see that happening, I think that's tough. And I think the thing you have to take into account, Mario, is the fact that the Chargers are going to have to win all 3 of these games against the Bills, Broncos, and Chiefs without Joey Bosa and Mike Williams, and that's going to be extremely tough because by then those 2 guys will probably be injured.
Yeah, I completely agree. Josh is
that was a shot.
Saying me fun.
Yeah, I know. Poor Josh is having internet problems, I think.
I know. Right. It sucks too because we can see his face. I could tell he just wants to punch like 3 holes in a wall. And I feel bad like every single time.
There's a lot of cussing going on right now. Guarantee it.
Yeah. There's a lot of screaming at a screen right now. Yeah. Couple of words we've never said before.
Walking around the house, just kicking invisible cups, all upset. Kicking things that aren't there. Yeah, guarantee it. Right now, he's losing his mind. There he is. Can you hear us, Josh?
Dude, I'm so upset.
I know. My internet. we just said you're upset because Josh is walking around the house cussing and kicking invisible cups.
Dude, I did. I just punched myself. I felt like Mario. I was so upset. It's good weather here in Nashville. My internet keeps going out like Sean Merriman. I didn't know what to do. Just looking around, saying, am I losing my mind? All right, my hardest 3-game stretch. Are we still on that hardest 3-game stretch?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we're on that.
Okay, I think I got a different spin on this. I'm gonna go at Jets. Lions home game at Packers. What do you guys think? I think that's a hard game stretch because you got at the Jets in New York, primetime game, Aaron Rodgers. We don't like those primetime games against Aaron Rodgers because he's good in the regular season and he sucks in the playoffs. And then Lions at home. I think that's going to be a 40-something to 40-something matchup with the Lions. They put up a ton of points. We put up a ton of points. It's a good game to take the over. And then Packers, even though they don't have a quarterback, going into Lambeau Field is going to be tough regardless. Just ask Mario. He's dealt with a bunch of pain the last 10 years. So I think those are the 3 hardest games in a row. What do you guys think?
It's not a bad stretch. We all picked something a little bit different. So, Josh, you were gone, but your stretch was a little bit different. Mario, tell him your stretch real quick.
Yeah, so my stretch was the Raiders, at Raiders, home against the Bills, at Broncos, week 15 through week 17, just with playoff implications. And we struggled to sweep Raiders and Broncos, and probably all 3 must-wins for playoff situations.
Yeah, mine was I moved a week back, Josh. I did Bills at the Chargers, Chargers at the Broncos, Chiefs Broncos. I said I don't think the Chargers and Chiefs have figured out who the champion of the division is. I think that last game on week 18 will determine that. I also said, as I took a shot to say, the Chargers are going to win all 3 of those games without Bosa and Mike Williams because they'll be injured by then.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, I agree with you.
You know what? I gotta ask Josh. I know his internet went out on this one, but I gotta ask him. So, Josh, I said the game that I'm looking forward to was the Chargers going to the Jets. That is Justin Herbert against Aaron Rodgers on primetime Monday Night Football. And Mario brought up a good point that both teams are the little brother in their cities. As big as the cities are, number 1, media market New York, number 2, media market Los Angeles, the Jets are still secondary to the Giants and the Chargers are secondary to the Rams. That it's one of those, a fight to get on the map to, hey, we're here. We aren't the little brother. We're the ones that run this town now.
So what do you think happens? Do you think the Chargers show up in this game? I have a hard time believing the Chargers play well. The Jets have a great defense.
They do have a great defense. Well, I'll ask Mario. He's watched Aaron Rodgers more than any of us the last few years. Can't stand the Packers. I don't know if he still hates Aaron Rodgers as much as he did about a month ago. But does Aaron Rodgers show up in this big game? Aaron Rodgers hasn't showed up in a big game in a long time.
He's still the devil. Yeah, I think Chargers do take this one. There's a big regression that we saw from Aaron Rodgers this past year. I'm not going to go out on the hill and say he's going to be not a top 10 quarterback in the league, but I think that's definitely a sign with a Nathaniel Hackett, who, yeah, you can tell me it's, we're back in euphoria. They're back together. It's just going to be everything's great, rainbows, sunshines, and best things ever, and mushrooms, I guess. But I don't think that's going to be the case in New York. I don't think he's going to come into a situation where they're going to be winning right away. This is going to be a team that's going to be pretty beat up from a tough division and schedule going into this game. I think Chargers can win this. It's going to be hard at New York in the big city in their territory. But it's also, we mentioned this too with Aaron going to the Jets. What's that locker room situation going to be? Is that environment going to be good? Like, is it going to be toxic a little bit? Are they going to start off 0-3 and New York media is going to start getting after Aaron and he's being Aaron and go, maybe I'm not going to answer your questions. I'm going to wait until go on the Pat McAfee show. Like, what's going to happen then? So I think looking at this game from now, there's a lot of questions just on the New York side. Like, what's going to be happening inside that building, inside that team? It's going to go into that game. If it's not all sunshines and rainbows, I think Chargers go in and win that game easily. I just think so. If 0-2 start or any 2-game losing streak in New York Jets, our friends at the Fan in New York City, they're going to be going nuts. They're going to be screaming on their heads and just freaking banging things. Not that, like throwing things, hitting walls and stuff like that. I think it's going to be a very toxic and a hard time, and there's going to be a lot of pressure for that team to win quick. So, yeah.
Are the Jets the third best team in New York?
Oh, no, second.
You think they're better than the Giants? You don't believe the Daniel Jones hype train?
No, not at all. I think Giants are going to get lucky because their division sucks. Not sucks.
They have a
but
great
like
coach, though.
Sucks. They do have a great coach. Good coach.
Top five coach, I'd say.
Yeah.
To be seen, though. We'll see. Yeah, I want to go to the YouTube comments, Mario. I want you to read off what we got going on YouTube. Unless, Dave, you have something to say.
No, I was just thinking about, as we were saying, Aaron Rodgers and Justin Herbert, where they rank as far as sports stars in their cities. I think Aaron Rodgers will rank number one this in New York as sports stars, even bigger than Aaron Judge, in their city, bigger than Brunson, bigger than, Pete Alonso. That I think Aaron Rodgers is the biggest athletic star in the Big Apple. Whereas I don't know where Justin Herbert ranks. He's definitely top 10, but I think Aaron Rodgers in the crown this year in New York.
You think he's bigger than Judge?
Just because the NFL is so much bigger than the Major League Baseball. That's why.
Yeah, that's fair. All right.
Just my guess. I just feel like the NFL just blows every other sport out of the water.
Yeah, I agree with you. YouTube comments. Shout out to everyone that comments on YouTube. If you're wondering, oh my God, you guys have YouTube? That's so crazy. I know. Just go to youtube.com, search Bold City. Boom. You see our three pretty faces. Then after you see our pretty faces, you're going to click on the video and go, wow, this is even more entertaining to watch. Then you're going to hit the subscribe button. Then you're going to comment, and they're going to read your comments out loud as long as it's PG, because it's PG here, not PG-13, not rated R. No, it's PG with a little dirty jokes from probably Josh. All right. Start off the YouTube comments. We have Robert D. This was like predictions we have throughout the year. Robert D. Shout out to Big Bert D. He thinks we'll get injured again and the Chargers go 10-7. He's banking off history, and I would love to sit here and tell you that injuries won't happen again, but it's football, it's a physical game, so it's probably always counter injuries into every record. What do you guys think about everything from Robert D? There's some good names in here too, by the way. I'm really excited about one that I have to read in about 3 minutes.
Okay, so injuries are going to happen. Going to happen to every team, right? The two guys on this team that can't afford to have injured are Justin Herbert and Austin Eckler. Everything else we can get by. That's how I feel. I think everything else you can get by with injuries. 10-6. I hate to say it, I'll take 10-6. That means they did better than what the Vegas line was, which was 9.5. It's not a bad prediction at all. I would, if he was in the room with me, I wouldn't be arguing with him right now.
10-7.
Yep, probably
big
right.
Guy. We play 17.
10-7.
Yeah, 10-7.
Did he say 10-6 or 10-7?
10-7.
What did he say? I thought he said
I
10
said
and
10 and
6.
7.
Okay, sorry.
Mario, did
10
you
and
say
7.
10 and 6 also?
No, I said
think
10
my-
and 7.
I think he
just-
read.
he's just-
What did the comments say? Did the comment say 10 and 6, or am I just
Dude, it's
losing
in
my
the
mind?
rundown. He says 10 and 7. It's just, hey, it's
Okay.
all right.
All right.
Dave. We'll
I
take care of
apologize,
you.
Robert. 10 and 7. All right, you guys.
I
say
think
something.
the biggest drop off between first string and second string, and Dave nailed it right there, is Austin Eckler. We have no backup running back at all. So if Austin Eckler goes down, we could be really screwed. And obviously, if Justin Herbert goes down, we could be screwed. Derwin James, surprisingly, last year when he got hurt, we weren't that bad. But if he gets hurt as well, we might be in trouble. If we're 10 and 7, I'm happy because we made the playoffs.
Yeah,
Yep.
Just gotta
I
get
agree.
to the dance.
Just gotta get to the dance, and then hey, we killed it at prom, so we'll go dancing.
Yeah.
All right, Thomas.
Just get to the dance and then just not stop them at all in the second half. Let's just do that again.
Yeah, yeah.
Still not
Thomas
over it.
Costello. Thomas Costello, shout out to him. He's got a cute dog, I believe that is, or a cat in his biopic. I don't know. It's some type of animal. Looks cute. Very good video, gentlemen. The game I would hate to lose is the first one versus Miami. Not only because it's Miami, but we will be healthy when Kellen Moore's offense is stalled. And 1-0 is different than 0-1. I completely agree. His prediction, 11-6, and a playoff run. So our boy Thomas Costello goes, hey, we got a little bit of playoff run in us.
I'm with him 100% on that. That's a great call. I think it's one of those things where people don't give enough credit to. Winning that first game is so important. Those teams that start off 0-2, and then those stats that come out, teams that start off 0-2, and how they don't make the postseason, and everything just falls apart off the first two losses. But to get game one out of the way as a victory is huge. It's just the mindset is big. Panic sets in otherwise. And I don't know how much the Chargers offense is going to pick up from Kellen Moore for everything he wants to do that quickly in a week one, right? Most of these starters aren't going to play in the preseason games.
You think it's kind of like the Josh McDaniels effect where it takes a lot of time to learn the offense? Or do you think it's one of the more plug-and-play offenses?
I have no idea. But the one thing with Josh McDaniels, I mean, good God, how long is it going to take, right? I mean, outside of Tom Brady, no one's figured it out yet. 3-year, 15-year. I mean, it's like – I just need a little bit more time. Like, oh my gosh! I mean, if
you're the owner,
Jimmy G can't figure it out
need?
there, did enough. Yeah, it just doesn't work without Tom Brady. Just call it the Tom Brady offense. Only works with one guy.
I agree with you guys. Thomas Costello's completely right. The first game always feels like more than just one game, right? If you lose, it feels like you lost multiple games. If you win, it feels like you won multiple games. And that's a game you can hang your hat on. If you beat the Dolphins, you beat a very good team. I'm with you, Thomas. If we can get that going, I think we can ride that into the beginning of the season.
I agree. I do think they'll click to the offense quicker just because all these guys are veterans. Like most of our offense is veterans. I think if it's young guys, we have a little bit of an issue, but since it's a lot older guys, I think you can kind of snap to adjust pretty quickly. All right. Next one. Our boy AK. He made his predictions as 13-4 AFC West champs, number 1 seed in the AFC. And the Bolts better not lose to the Lions because his families are all Lions fans. Please, thanks. Yeah, that'd be a tough one. They lose to the Lions. Every time you're facing a team that your whole family is fans of, and it's like you versus them, it's not the good corner to be in. You're going to be swinging in the corner, swinging for your life. But yeah, I agree. Hopefully they beat the Lions. They have good smack talk. The AFC West champs. I think we need a lot of stuff to bounce our way, though.
I'm with Mario. If you lose to the Lions, it's like you're uglier than the ugliest kid in your class because they're the joke of the NFL. You don't want to lose to the Lions. They have a good team. I think the Lions are a top half of the league type of team, top 10 offense for sure. But their defense.
Where are you
still
picking
sucks.
the Lions to finish in their division? Where are you picking the Lions in their division to finish?
Second best team in the division behind the Vikings. I think the Vikings aren't very good, but I also think the Lions have a huge, huge hole all over their defense. They're just like the Raiders to me. Their offense will probably be decent, but I think the Lions have better offense than the Raiders, but their defense is just so freaking bad. Chargers should win that game.
Yeah, the Chargers, I think, should win that game. But again, if you're, an NFL fan, you're a Lions fan especially, you're thinking this is the year that you make a major jump forward, right? I mean, Mario, you said you have family members that follow that team. I mean, if you're in Detroit, that's the team you're most excited about. More excited than the Tigers or the Pistons, right? It's the Lions here. The Lions made a huge jump last year as far as where they've been and were impressive to watch. And they think this is the year they take another big step. I'm sure a lot of Lions fans will tell you we're the best team in the division. We're the team
Yeah,
that's
that's a
going to
better
make a run
chance
this year
GM
to the
Motors
Super
comes
Bowl.
back to life. Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
They're
feel
dead.
like every year is that there's like a team in a sport where everyone expects them to take such a big step and they never do. And that's the Lions this year.
Padres.
It's like everyone's
I'm with the
expecting.
Padres.
Yeah. Utah in college football this past year when everyone's like they're going to take a big step. They're super in college football playoff. Yeah, my ass. My freaking ass, dude. That was never going to happen.
Whatever PG.
That's PG. All right. Next one. Shout out Angie. She gave us 2 comments. Angie, you're number 1. You're cool. 11-6, and she said, "I just hope that Coach Staley can figure it out." Laughing emoji and 5 bold signs. So hey, don't we all? Don't we all?
I agree with Angie.
At first, I was about to argue with Angie until she put the laughing emoji.
Yeah.
Yes, Angie, good. That was a good one. I'm with you. That's funny.
Good joke.
That's
Wrote
funny.
it down in my diary.
That was a good joke. That was a good joke. If
Yeah,
she'd have put the laughing
got
emoji,
Dave.
I'd be screaming at her right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way to be realistic.
Okay,
We get hate all the time for hating on Brandon Staley, but what has he proven to you as Charger fans? Write in the comments. What do you like about him? If you're a fan, if you don't like him, what do you want? Do you want Kellen Moore to be the next coach? Tell us in the comments.
Yeah, please do. Please do. And then we'll read them out loud. As long again, no curse words. No curse words. Okay. If you curse one time, I'm putting Josh's phone number in the comments. So don't curse.
Yeah, exactly.
Shouts. We have 2 more. So shout out to Caesar.
Yeah.
He didn't give out a prediction, but he said, "See you at SoFi on October 29th. Bear down, bolt up." Shout out Caesar. We'll see you there at the game, man. Come take a picture with us, hang out with us, buy us a beer. We buy you. Dave will buy you a beer. He just put that up, put it on our chat. So if you want to do that, that'd be great. We'll have a lot of fun. We'd love to see you see that. Can we make that a bet where if Chargers start 0-3,
What's the punishment?
if Chargers start 0-3, we'll flip a coin and whoever, or we'll pick out of a hat. Yeah, we'll pick out of a hat. Loser, anytime someone comes up to us and they show us that they're subscribed to Bolt City, you have to buy them a beer at the game. So yeah,
Sure.
they start 0-3.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got an idea also for us. We all pick one game this season that the Chargers cannot lose. You 100% believe they're going to win that game. If they lose, the other 2 people pick a punishment for that guy.
Yeah, I like that. I like
that too. Okay.
Bang. Now we're moving. All right. One more comment that we have. Shout out Original One. He commented, "SoFi is the place to be this upcoming season. Good games, good opponents. Southern Cal, Thunder Alley. Let's go, Los Angeles. Battle Chargers. Chargers. Bolt horse football. Bang. There we go. That's all the comments we got.
All right. You know what's funny? We talk about going to SoFi a lot, and as far as the excitement of watching your team in person, and when you're surrounded by fans of the team that you're following, we always say it feels like a family, right? There's nothing like sitting there celebrating good things with friends and family. And when you're at SoFi and you feel like you're doing that whole deal, man, I'm all for it. I don't care what sport it is, but Charger football is a blast. And I think for a lot of the people in the Charger fan base, they feel like, hey, I've been here from the beginning, because it was a team, as we talked about, that wasn't exactly embraced back in 2017. Now there's more and more people who are jumping on, and I love the fact that it's young people who, of course, it's hard to figure out what to do with your entertainment dollar, that are saying, I want to go to Charger games. Here's my biggest complaint in sports, Mario. Josh has heard me say this before. Man, I am burnt out on the fights. Like, I'm one of those guys who used to kind of dig the fights. You kind of look around a little bit and go, man, they're fighting over there. They're fighting over there. Dude, it's so out of control, man. Enough. Like, I would love to be able to go. I don't have a little kid to take the game where I'm worried about my kid getting knocked out. But, man, it is one of those where I'm done with it. I'm done with Chargers fighting Chiefs fans. I'm done with Steeler fans coming to town, starting fights. Whoever it is, it seems like it happens all the time in every stadium, every arena. You see it in Major League Baseball a ton right now, where guys are just going at it. It's so weird to me to spend that much money and jump into these fights. And when you hear the players even go, what the hell are they fighting about? Don't they see us at the end of the game either getting in that circle to pray together or to hug each other or switch jerseys out? We aren't fighting. But yet the guy who's sitting in the first 5 rows behind the end zone is going to sit there and start throwing punches and haymakers. Man, I'm burnt out. My biggest complaint right now with pro sports is, if you're going to sit there and support your team, don't be that guy. It doesn't need to get to the point where you have to get arrested in front of your family. It's absolutely ridiculous.
I agree with you. It's so lame to fight at a sporting event. It's just dumb. I mean, I'm a fan too. I'm not fighting anybody. I think they should take up the rules that high schools take up. If two guys fight each other, they have to tie those guys together at work the next day on Monday. They have to spend the whole work day together.
Yeah.
Yeah, teach them a real lesson. Your coworker fought. Now he can't behave himself.
I like that.
Yeah. You know where you don't see fights, Mario, by the way? I realized this a couple years ago. Josh and I went to see the Celtics and Lakers, which is obviously a huge rivalry in the NBA. There are no fights in NBA games in this crowd. You know why? Because the tickets cost us a ton of money. And maybe it's just people understand what event they're watching, but you don't go to Staples Center or Crypto, whatever it's called, or United Center, wherever the Bulls are playing, and go, there's no fights. I'm sorry. The fans don't beat the hell out of each other. I can't say the same thing for hockey because I haven't seen it. But in the NBA, it's not like Major League Baseball and the NFL. Those two sports are just out of control when it comes to their fans lately.
I would say that's also because NBA there's so many games where like NFL, it's you could live or die by week to week. So like that one game, that 1 week, there's a lot of pent up stuff, and it's like this game matters so much. And then you hear one chirp as your team losing. Gambling probably doesn't help it anymore either because you're like, dude, I am losing so much money on this game. And then some guy calls you an idiot or something in the back. You're like, all right, I've had enough. And like, so.
Yeah.
But don't do it. Yeah. But if you're going to do it, have high ground. But don't do it.
It's always your move. How you prefer if you're getting into it, make sure you're above the person. What if the guy below you grabs your shirt and pulls you down?
I'm opposite of you. You got to be low ground.
You think low ground?
Yes, dude, because he's.
I don't think you have leverage if you're high ground.
Yeah, you have no leverage if you're high ground, and you have no balance. If you're low ground, you just got to get a hold of the shirt and pull him down. Now he's screwed.
Yeah,
and you have. But don't fight at games.
But if you have to, get low ground.
Yeah. I that's a good point. I don't know, but dude, a punch coming from high ground, you're in trouble.
Yeah, but it's hard to land it. You got the seat in the way and everything.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with Josh. I'd rather be low ground and grab the shirt and pull him forward, and it's just going over just start punching him in the head. No fighting.
Yeah.
No fighting. No.
Let
fighting.
us know. Let us know in the comments. High ground or low ground.
High ground, low ground. What's the best place to be?
Counterpoint, you pull the guy, you're low ground, and you pull the guy and you think you got him because he's going to the ground. He's black belt in jiu-jitsu, and now you're just in his playground. That would be a tough one. That would happen to me. That'd be a freaking tough one. Where you see his other ear has cauliflower ear, and you're sticking, gosh darn it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a good sign if you're fighting a guy who already has the cauliflower ear. I mean, he's been to this rodeo before.
Yeah, guy's got nothing to lose.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's another thing. As they say when my family is never going to fight with an ugly guy because an ugly guy has nothing to lose. It's like, all right. Yeah. Watch out.
See,
be careful.
Yeah. See, that's why if you like Dave will fight someone, but me and Josh, our faces make us, baby. We can't be taking these hits to the face.
That's true.
Lover, not a fighter.
Yeah,
don't fight.
Remember they asked Mark Jackson, the NBA announcer, when he was on the Knicks. They asked him if he hold on, it was Doc Rivers when he played. They asked Doc Rivers, "Are you a lover or a fighter?" He goes, "I'm a bleeder." What's his line? So that's the way to go. All right, we have a huge guest coming on the next Bolt City podcast. Can I mention it, Mario?
Go ahead, sir.
Okay. If he doesn't show up, man, it's on him because Mario did a great job bringing him on the show, and he's going to join us in a couple days on the next episode. Lights out. Sean Merriman's going to be on the show with us. Talk to Sean Merriman, talk about, of course, his days with the Chargers in San Diego, but also Sean's one of those guys that's been big for the Spanish family as far as introducing Charger football to the Los Angeles fans as well. So looking forward to having Lights Out on our next episode. Should be exciting. Again, Charger football. There's certain guys that are part of your memories. I know for Josh, Lights Out, Sean Merriman was a big part of his childhood. For me, Junior and I, basically followed him for a long time and knew him very well. And so Junior was my favorite linebacker, but man, Sean Merriman was putting up numbers with the Chargers that were just amazing, just like the NFL had never seen before. So very exciting that Sean Merriman will be on the next episode. Make sure you don't miss it. Again, Mario's right. Go ahead and write in the comments. YouTube, we appreciate it. We will read them. I like this that we open the mailbag up, Mario, and we get through some of the thoughts. I am curious to know, because it seems like in the comments I am the most hated guy on this show, but I blame Mario for turning the audience against me. Yeah,
you're welcome.
I think you've steered this completely against me. There you go. Anyway, there you go. For Josh Palais, for Mario Heron, I'm Dave Palais. Again, thanks for listening to the Bolt City podcast, and of course, watching on YouTube. And thanks to Odyssey for putting this on.